Okay, so this is a summary, not a summary really, but just the bottom line of the Maimer. The risk of giving such a brief summary is the risk of oversimplifying matters. The whole beauty of the Maimer and every Maimer is how the essential truth is threaded through all of the myriad details of Torah and of life and of creation. Therein lies the beauty, is in the appreciation of all of the nuance, which we mirror as human beings. And therein lies the relationship, is this commonality and this sharing. But I believe it's useful just to give the bottom line of the Maimer, so that in your review of the Maimer, everything kind of gels and coalesces into one seamless articulation of truth. So perhaps we can just phrase it this way. At the outset of creation, the very first day, the Torah tells us that Hashem divided or separated the light. The meaning of which is explained in Medrash, and which Rashi quotes, that this pristine light God divided, removed subsequently from creation. It was there for a brief moment, and concealed it. Concealed it for the tzaddikim, concealed it in the Torah, concealed it for all of us to experience when Mashiach comes, once the entire purpose of creation, this great project, is realized. What is this light? This light is the articulation of the truth, God expressing His inner desire for this whole project of creation, which is not apparent looking at creation itself. Just look at creation, you see a beautiful world. Even if you look with a discerning and sensitive and spiritual eye, it's a beautiful world. There's no way looking at the world that one could discern what the inner intent of all of this is. And what is it that was revealed on the first day? That God's essence be revealed on earth, that the whole world reflect that, His very essence, the eye or the Pnimius HaKeser, the Tuvoi, His goodness, His essential goodness, and that be revealed in the sense, because in as much that this inner desire is a relationship with us here in this world, then Neshama come down to the Guf, into the world, and herein to have that profound and intimate connection, and the entire world and the entire cosmos should reflect that. So the Maimer is making us appreciate what this means. It's really the contrast to what God has invested, as it were, in creation, as opposed to what He invests in us. So as we just said, creation is, first of all, to appreciate creation, we have to appreciate how creation is a radical creation itself. We speak now before Avodah. For Hashem to create the world, Yesh Ma'ayin, is an expression of, relatively speaking, His inner self, beyond the system of Ilu v'Olul. But then within that, there's creation, but then the essence of that is the desire for dwelling place with us. So let's just walk through this. First of all, there's Ilu v'Olul. Ilu v'Olul means divine revelation in the chain reaction, natural expression of Hashem. So that's everything up to and including Atzilus. Hashem's saying that I'm expressing myself, and I've decided to reveal myself in these descriptive ways. So thereafter, all the chain, the reaction, rather, all the levels of that revelation are all interrelated, and one level devolves from the other. Notwithstanding all the upper level, the source being on one hand very far from what it produces, like Seichel producing Midas, but at the end of the day, it's all integrated. There's Midas within Seichel, and hence Seichel can produce Midas. As opposed to creation, which is Biyah, Bri, Yitzir, Asiyah, and most notably this physical world. as explained elsewhere in Chassidus. It's much more evident in the creation of the physical reality. So that is radical, that's Yesh Ma'ayin. So in that, paradoxically, in Biyah, as opposed to the natural expressions of the divine, of Atzilus and above, it's dafke in the creation, HaMachadish B'tuvay, that God's raw, essential self is expressed. Because all of the levels of Hishtalshalus, they're all natural progressions and predictable. Seichel will produce midas. They're all revelations that are natural. True, they're revelations that God has chosen by which to express himself. That's true. But what revelation are we getting of God? God's decision to express himself in a descriptive way. It's divine, Atzilus is holy, and the Ein Sof is blessed, because it's God's decision to reveal himself. But certainly in the descriptive dimensions of all of that, the 10 Sfiras, in the 10 Sfiras themselves, that is now in the system, a divine, logical, progressional, evolutionary system. It's divine and holy because that's how God has chosen to express himself. But in the creation of Yesh Ma'ayin, God draws on or expresses a truly infinite power that's beyond the system, beyond the divine descriptive system. And that's creation. And it's a constant investure, a constant impossibility, a constant miracle that requires drawing on the unfiltered, very infinite revelation or being of God. Now in this itself, now here comes the distinction. Within creation itself, yes, so it draws on the Keser, it draws on the transcendent levels, Sovev Kalalmin, and so on. And that's the light that's revealed on the first day of creation, but it is a separation within the light, because God is saying, yes, in order to create ex nihilo, something from nothing, that's got to be beyond my divine chosen system of expression. But within that itself, nonetheless, there's two levels. Because the truth is, I don't want creation per se. That's not my inner intent. It's that in creation, in this physical world, you make it a dwelling place for me where that's my real objective. So therefore, once that happens, when a Jew engages the world and does a mitzvah, so then, that's what it's all for. So then his investment in creation is fully laid bare. To create Yesh Ma'ayin needs to draw on the infinite essential being of God. But even within that, there's two levels. I'm creating this in order that you reveal me here. So creation per se does not express my true inner self, my true inner desire, even though, of course, I've created it. But it's a means for an end. And the means for an end is my connection to you. So the Maimah says, so this is what Avodah achieves, all based on the Zohar. The Zohar is saying that God concealed it, it's for the future, for the tzaddikim in the future. The Baal Shem Tov said it's concealed in Torah. If it's concealed in Torah, it's saying it's accessible now because Torah was given to us now. So indeed, every Shabbos and every Yom Tov, and moreover, B'chol Yom Tamid, the Zohar says, God doesn't withhold this from us. Every time a Jew does a mitzvah, he is revealing the inner intent of creation. So within this creative force, which is Yesh Ma'ayin, is this incredible, beyond the system, investure of God. Within that, he reveals the inner intent of it all. That's not just the Kesed, but the Pnimius of Kesed. That's what God separated at the outset of creation. It was manifest originally for a fleeting moment because God articulates at the very beginning what he wants in all of this. But then comes the Yid through Avodah and realizes and makes it all happen. And this happened for Hashmini. So on the 8th day, when the Mishkan is built, that's when Avodah begins. Iskafi and Ishapche, Torah, Avodah, Gemilas Chasodim, all the aspects of Avodah. So all these dimensions of Avodah and the components of Avodah of a Yid, what is the result? And how is a Yid able to reveal the very inner kavanah, the Pnimius HaKesed, the very eye of God, as it were? because the neshama is rooted there. Therefore, can touch that level. Comes from there. And therefore, even as the neshama comes down into the body, that connection is never lost. And therefore, the neshama has the ability in the body down here to touch and reveal God's inner being. Again, in simple language, it means his desire for the most intimate relationship with us. We have to make that happen. We have to allow him. He is present within creation, but utterly concealed in the helm of the world. The concealment of the world really lies the helm atzmi, the deepest desire. In the gashmius, in the finitude of this world, lies God's deepest desire. I'm here, so touch me, find me, embrace me. That's what every mitzvah does. Every act of iskafia and every act of isabcha, certainly. And that all began in earnest by Hashmini, the day the Mishkan began to function. And it took the 10 crowns, including the crown within the crown, Pnimius HaKeser, which is the inner desire, the inner intent, to be fully experienced when Mashiach comes, but the connection is made now. And as we said, the shir today, so the whole world reflects that. The whole world is there to serve this inner, like the home. I'm going to say it in different words. A home has different compartments. But the heart of the essence of the home is the home where the husband and wife are one. That's the Kodesh HaKadoshim. That's the Holy of Holies, which in fact in Scripture, in Tanakh, is referred to as the Cheder HaMitas, literally the bedroom. Sefer Shmuel. In the story recounted there. At any rate, so the whole world, our avodah is to transform the whole world to reflect this union. That union sparkles and is reflected of every detail in creation. The home, friends, all of its outer dimensions, the various rooms in the home, the functional rooms. The functional rooms, the bedroom is about being, not function. In the deepest way, as they become one, being, not functionally, not sharing something, not sharing a common pursuit, activity, like in the kitchen, eating together, which is also critical. But the Cheder HaMitas, the Kodesh HaKadoshim, is not sharing something. It's being, fusing and being one. But that has to be reflected in every aspect of the house. Every aspect of the house must reflect the essential unity between Ish v'Isha. And all of the details and nuance and expression and myriads of details, but it's all an expression of them, of her, him, as one. So the whole world will become the dira, the home for Hashem, in all of its compartments. I said this morning it all becomes a Kodesh HaKadoshim in a sense, but it's also fused with the Kodesh HaKadoshim. The Rabbi would say that when Mashiach comes, we'll find ourselves this moment in the Holy of Holies. That's true. It doesn't mean the rest of the Beis HaMikdash doesn't exist and the rest of the world doesn't exist. It's that truth, that essential bond, that oneness suffuses all of the pursuit and activity and detail of the rest of the home, which the whole world will become. From the kitchen to the bathroom to the garage to the garden, all of the external expressions of the home all suffused with this essential oneness, this couple, and their essential being. All right, so that all begins Vayehi by Hashmini. Okay, so the truth is that none of the words I said are in the Maimer, not one of them virtually, except for the direct quotes. But this is the general context of the Maimer. I hope everybody will learn it again. You can listen, obviously, to the Shiurim, learn it inside on your own, and particularly with the very valuable help of Adam's notes. So beautifully done. So, Yasher Koyach, and see you soon.